Hi everybody, this is an answer key for the Trig Lesson 8 homework on the cosine law. And number 1 says find the indicated side. In A they want us to find JK, which is right here. And I'm going to switch to blue. Okay, and this is the cosine law, and we usually use the cosine law when you have an angle between two sides, like we have here, or if you know all three sides of the triangle and no angles. Okay, and the general rule was if we're looking for an angle, we make that one A. If we have an angle, we make that one A. So we'll make this angle A, which means the side opposite the angle is little a. And then it doesn't matter how you label B and C once you've established where angle A is and little a. Okay, and we actually want to figure out what little a is because that is side JK. And the cosine law says this: a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So for us, a squared will be equal to 15 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 15 times 12 cos 33 degrees. So a squared is equal to, since my angle is in degrees, let's make sure I'm in degree mode. I'm in radian mode, so I'm going to go and highlight degree. There we go. And we will go 15 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 15 times 12 times cos 33. And we get 67.07 and a bunch of stuff. Okay, and then how do we solve for a? We have to get rid of that squared, so I square root both sides. Mathematically, it could be plus or minus. So I want to square root that last answer. The square root sign is in yellow underneath x squared, so I have to go second function x squared to get the square root sign. And the word answer is underneath the negative sign at the bottom of the calculator beside that enter button. So I go second function negative sign, puts in the word answer, I close the bracket, and I press enter, and I get 8.2. and that is going to be centimeters. Okay, I'm going to reject the negative answer as usual because we're finding the length of a side. Okay, letter B, find PQ. So PQ is right along here. We know this 112 degree angle, so I'm going to label that A. So PQ is little a, and then it doesn't matter how you label B and C. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. So we are going to get 7 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 7 times 11 cos of 112. So a squared is equal to 7 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 7 times 11, and then cos 112. And press enter. So 227.689. And a bunch of stuff. Let's make sure I did that right. And to get rid of squared, we are going to go square root, plus or minus could work. And we will get a equals, I'm going to go second function x squared to get the square root, second function negative sign to put answer in there, close the bracket, and press enter, 15.1. And that's going to be millimeters. Okay, I'm just getting out my notes page so I can verify that the answer key is good. The answer key says that 1A is 8.2 and 1B is 15.1. Perfect. Okay, let's do C. It wants us to find HI, which is this side here. We have this 70.4 degree angle, so we label that A. Across from capital A is little a, and that's what we want to find. Okay, so then we can call this B and this C. And I would say A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. B is 19.4. C is 36.2 minus 2 times 19.4 times 36.2 cos 70.4. A squared equals 19.4 squared plus 36.2 squared minus 2 times 19.4 times 36.2 times cos 70.4. 1215.63. And a bunch of stuff. And so to then get A by itself, I square root both sides. Could be plus or minus. We're going to reject the negative answer and just go the square root of that answer, 34.9. And that's meters. Okay, and that is consistent with the answer key. In number 2, they want us to find the indicated angle, so we're finding an angle. They want us to get angle Y, and so we label that one A, which means this is little a, and then B and C don't matter. Okay, and so remember, guys, that the cosine law is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. And we need to get the cos A by itself, first of all, and then ultimately the A. And I usually will give you this formula on any test or quiz. The formula for getting cos A by itself is this. It is A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. Okay, so that's the formula when you're trying to solve for the angle. And so now we can plug in our numbers. A is 9, so 9 squared minus 3 squared minus 7 squared divided by negative 2 I was just showing the brackets to kind of help with the calculator, but on the bottom we would go negative 2 times B is 3 and C is 7, like so. So cos A is equal to, here's what we're going to have to do in the calculator. In brackets, 9 squared minus 3 squared minus 7 squared divided by, in brackets, negative 2 times 3 times 7. Close the brackets on the bottom, press enter. Negative 0.54 and a bunch of stuff. Negative 0.547 and a bunch of decimal places. I don't want to lose any of those decimal places, and so to get angle A we have to do cos inverse of that ratio. So angle A is equal to I have to go second function cos to get cos inverse, and I want to put that last answer in. And we know the answer is underneath the negative sign on this calculator, so go second function negative sign, put answer in there, and our angle is 123 degrees. The answer key goes to the nearest degree for 2a and 2b. So 123 degrees, and we got that right with the answer key. Good, let's try letter B. They want us to find angle Q, so we make that A, and across from A is little a. So this one can be B, and this one can be C, or vice versa. And remember, since we want to get the angle, the formula for cos A is this one. A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. A is 17, so 17 squared minus 15 squared minus 23 squared, all of that divided by negative 2 times 15 times 23. Okay, so cos A is equal to 17 squared minus 15 squared minus 23 squared. Oh, I should have done brackets. And then I can insert and do brackets around it like that. Divide that by, in brackets, negative 2 times 15 times 23. Negative, or sorry, it's just 0.6739. 0.6739 and a bunch of stuff. So A is equal to cos inverse of 0.6739. And so A is equal to, we go second function cos, second function minus sign to put answer in there, 48 degrees. Okay, and the answer key is right with that. Okay, letter C, find angle I. So they want us to find angle I, so we label that A, and across from A, that means this is A, and then B and C don't matter. So cos A, the formula is A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. So our cos A is going to be 37.1 squared minus 62.3 squared minus 65.5 squared divided by negative 2 times 62.3 times 65.5. Okay, let's calculate that in brackets. 37.1 squared minus 62.3 squared minus 65.5 squared. All of that divided by negative 2 times 62.3 times 65.5. 0.8326. And so A is cos inverse of that. Shift cos, second function minus sign to get answer in there, and we get 33.6 degrees, and that's how the answer key writes it, to 1 decimal place for this one. 33.6 degrees. Awesome. Number 3. So a boat is towing 2 water skiers. One of the skiers has a tow rope that is 50 feet long, and the other has a rope that is 60 feet long. At one point in time, the angle formed by the 2 ropes is 35 degrees. How far apart are the skiers at that point? So we have this angle. We want to figure out how far apart they are. So you make the angle A, and across from it is A, and that's what we want to figure out. Okay, so classic cosine law. So this can be B and this can be C, and we just go A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So A squared is equal to 50 squared plus 60 squared minus 2 times 50 times 60 cos 35 degrees. Squared plus 60 squared minus 2 times 50 times 60 cos 35. 1185.08. And to get rid of squared, we have to square root both sides, plus or minus. So we get A is equal to second function x squared, second function negative sign, square root of that answer, 34.4. And I'm going to drop the negative answer because this is a length in feet. Okay, and answer key says that is good. All right, 4. A tent is in the shape of an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle means that there are two equal sides. You can see 1.8 and 1.8. Each side is 1.8 meters long, and the angle formed between the sides is 74 degrees. How wide is the floor of the tent? So there's the angle we know, that's A. Across from the angle is little a, and that's what we want to know. This is the floor of the tent. So this is B and this is C. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So we're going to get 1.8 squared plus 1.8 squared minus 2 times 1.8 times 1.8 cos 74 degrees. So A squared is equal to 1.8 squared plus 1.8 squared minus 2 times 1.8 times 1.8 cos 74. Bang. 4.69 and a bunch of stuff. To get A by itself, square root, plus or minus. A is a length, so I'm going to drop the negative answer, and I'm going to get the square root of that answer, 2.2 to 1 decimal place. Meters. Oh, I notice in 4A they have the answer to 2 decimal places. That's 2.16 with a 6 beside it, so that would round up to 2.17, which they have in the answer key. Okay, 2.17 meters wide. Each person who sleeps in the tent requires floor space approximately 0.5 meters wide. Using this information, how many people can sleep in the tent? 2.17 meters divided by each person needs 0.5 meters per person, which means 2.17 divided by 0.5, 4.34. Therefore, you can't have 0.3 of a person. Therefore, 4 people can sleep in the tent. consistent with the answer key again. Number 5, a triangular yard is bounded by a brick wall, a road, and a row of trees. The wall is 110 feet long, the road is 125 feet long, and the row of trees is 86 feet long. Find the angle between the brick wall and the road. The angle between the brick wall and the road. So that's this angle here. So we'll label that A. And across from big A is little a. And then it doesn't matter how you label B and C. So to get that angle, remember the formula for cos A is A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. And cos A is equal to A is 86, B is 110, so 110 squared, minus C is 125, so 125 squared, and negative 2 times B is 110, C is 125. So cos A ends up equaling this. We have to do brackets on the top, 86 squared minus 110 squared minus 125 squared divided by, brackets on the bottom, sorry about that, negative 2 times 110 times 125. So there's cos A, 0.739. And so angle A then is cos inverse of 0.739, which is equal to, go second function cos, second function negative sign to put in answer, close the bracket, press enter, and we get 42 degrees. Right on with the answer key. Number 6, a square floor tile must be cut into a triangular shape to complete a floor pattern. And I am just going to pause for a second here, guys, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. A square floor tile must be cut into a triangular shape to complete a floor pattern. The sides of the triangle required are 15.2 centimeters, 12.5 centimeters, and 9.3 centimeters. At what angles must the tile be cut to accomplish this? So they want us to find all of these angles. This angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where you start. Maybe we could find this angle first, and then that side would be labeled A, and then this would be B and C. And so remember, the formula for cos A is A squared minus B squared minus C squared divided by negative 2BC. So cos A is 15.2 squared minus 9.3 squared minus 12.5 squared. All of that divided by negative 2 times 9.3 times 12.5. Okay, so in brackets, I'm going to go 15.2 squared minus 9.3 squared minus 12.5 squared divided by negative 2 times 9.3 times 12.5. Close brackets, press enter. Cos A is 0.0503 and a bunch of stuff. So A is equal to cos inverse of that ratio. And so angle A to the nearest degree is, shift cos of that answer, 87 degrees. Okay, and since I labeled this side little b, then across from it, this angle is going to be capital B, and across from little c is going to be angle capital C. And now that we know an angle in there, guys, and we know all three sides, we can now use the sine law to get one of the other angles. So we don't have to use the cosine law again if we don't want to. If you want to use the cosine law, you can. But we now have an angle-side relationship, and we have another side here, so we can get angle B using the sine law. So I'm going to go sine A over A equals sine B over B. And it's sine of 87 degrees divided by its opposite side, 15.2, is equal to sine B divided by its opposite side, 9.3. And we want to get B by itself. Excuse me. We want to get B by itself. It's acted on by the sine function, and then we're dividing by 9.3. So you just multiply both sides by 9.3. And on this side, the 9.3's cancel, and we end up with sine B is equal to 9.3 multiplies onto the top times sine 87, and then divide that by 15.2, and we get 0.611. A bunch of stuff. And so B is equal to sine inverse of this 0.611, so I'm going to go shift sign, second function negative sign to put in answer, and we get 38 degrees for angle B. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so we went from cosine law to sine law, and we now know that this is 38 degrees. And the way to get angle C, guys, is we can use the property that angles in a triangle add to 180. And we know two of the three angles. So you would just go 180 minus 87 minus 38. And so angle C is equal to 180 minus 87 minus 38. 55 degrees. Okay, and if you look at the answer key, it shows 38 degrees, 55 degrees, and 87 degrees. So we are all good. And that is how you do number 6. Alright, and we will finally finish off with number 7 here. It says a surveyor at point S on a triangular property finds the angle between, finds the angle. So I'm going to fix that word. Finds the angle between two corner posts to be 123 degrees. If he is standing 29 meters from one post and 40 meters from another, what is the distance between the posts? Okay, so he wants to find the distance between these two posts. We have an angle in between two sides, so that's classic cosine law. So we call our angle A, and then we know that the side across from it is little a, and that's what we want to find. And this can be B. and this can be c. So a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. b is 29 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 29 times 40 cos 123 degrees. So a squared is equal to 29 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 29 times 40 times cos 123. A squared is that 3704.56. Square root of a squared is a. Okay, I'm going to reject the negative answer because we're finding a length again, so go second function square root, second function answer. 60.9, 60, well, to 2 decimal places, 60.87. And that is going to be in meters. And that is answer C, which it says in the answer key. Okay, there you go, everybody. Those are the answers to the Trig Lesson 8 homework on the cosine law, and I will talk to you again soon.